Yes, boys, how we all doing? And welcome back to another video, the first EAFC video on the channel. It is starter squad season. Oh, it feels good to say those words. And today we're going to be reviewing your boys' starter EAFC teams. Let's take a look, shall we? Right, boys, first squad of the video then, and we do have this one. This is from Adna. So he has sent me through this. I'm liking it, I gotta say. I'm liking the team. He's even got a cheeky hero on the bench, man. Yeah, as I say, as for the bench, you got like Jota, St. Maximin, Mahrez, Grimaldo, a lot of nice like starter cards, especially like that Grimaldo I've looked at as a left back. Obviously he's transferred now as well, so he's no longer Portuguese league. 84 rated, looks like a pretty solid card. Going into the actual main team though, if we look at that, I mean, firstly, I look at his defense. I think Frimpong probably won't be the cheapest of cards. We all know he's Frimpong's always one of those guys, boys, as we all know, where he's always pretty OP in the game, right? But I don't see too much problem with it. He's not going to be ridiculous amounts of coins, and you can get a bit of coins saved up early in the game by grinding it. So by grinding the game, so I wouldn't think that's too much of an issue. So Justa and Ake, I rate that. I really do rate that centre back partnership. Both centre backs, pretty good starter cards. Good pace, good defense, good physical. Nothing crazy. Like, you don't need these cards to be. You're not going to be facing insane attackers early in the game. At least you don't hope you're going to face too many Mbappes or Viniciuses too early in the game. Midfield 3, yet again, Verts, Koshu, and I think that's how I pronounce it, right? Koshu, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. And we've got Mateus Nunes, obviously now at Man City as well. I like the balance. I mean, Koshu and Nunes kind of your box-to-boxes there with the Verts as the cam. I like that. And then we move into the forward line in this team. You got the likes of Rafa down the middle with David Neres on the right and Nuno Santos on the left. So some very, very nice cards, Adna. Some very, very good cards. A very, very nice starter team there from Adna. Make sure you get in the comments, boys, and give me ratings out of 10 for each of these teams that we review today. But I'm definitely liking this first squad from Adna. Things look solid. As I say, it's a very, very nice balanced team. You've no real player there that I'd question. I think they're all smart budget. As I say, Frimpong might be a little bit pricey, but most of them you'd imagine they're pretty okay price-wise, and certainly nice starter cards to have for that first weekend league. Alright, next starter squad then, we're gonna have a look at this one. This is looking tasty, this team. I'm liking this. Ramsdale in goal. There's a couple of keepers, I'm sure you boys have seen them in the Prem, like people like Ramsdale, Pickford, Lloris. There's a few decent, like 82, 83, 84 of the keepers that, keepers at the start of the game, you wouldn't imagine, unless you're going for the real top echelon ones, they're not going to be too expensive, right? So Ramsdale, that fits the starter vibe, I would say. You've got Wan-Bissaka, Saliba, Kanate, and Rico Henry as your back four. Solid, man. A lot of pace in that back line, which is nice to have at the start of the year. Definitely something you want to have. And as I say, I mean, look at that two centre-back partnership. The fullbacks are nice. Wan-Bissaka, solid starter right back. Not anything crazy, but, you don't need crazy at the start of the year. So that's very, very solid. Henry, I'd imagine he'd be quite a cheap and OP and quite a popular choice. It'll be very interesting to see, actually, if anyone else in this video is using Rico Henry in their starter squads. Kanate and Saliba, you can't really go wrong with them. I wouldn't imagine either will be really cheap. I mean, Kanate, I expect somewhere between maybe like a 20k range for him at the start, because he's got obviously good defense and physical. He'll be a bit of a tanking game. Good pace. I think there is one stat to him. I think it's his agility. I was looking on the database the other night. His agility's a little bit low, so that might let him down a wee bit. But certainly as a starter centre-back, nothing wrong with that. Saliba will be a little bit more expensive, but as I say, if you grind the game early, you get a bit of coins built up. I think it's certainly a nice card to start with. Midfield 3 of Knobs, who I've never heard of, at Aston Villa. 81 centre mid. I've never heard of him, so if you boys have heard of him in the comments, let me know. We've got Joe Willock and we've got Camavinga. Now, Camavinga is another one. I don't expect him, he's very good stats across the board there. Nearly all plus 70 apart from his shooting there. But, yeah, another nice balance in midfield. Joe Willock's a good starter card as well. Obviously, Newcastle, Premier League. And then Camavinga, maybe a little bit more pricey, but I like what you're doing with this team, and certainly the way you're incorporating. Obviously, it's Prem predominant. But also you've got a little bit of French links in there, so it gives you that option then as well, that if you want to, once you make a little bit more coins and you want to bring in a few of those meta starter French cards into your team, you've got the option to do that, you know what I mean? As we all know, boys, there's a lot of meta French players, across the gear, every Ultimate Team, man. Whether you're talking in-game cards, whether you're talking starter cards, France is always a solid nation, man. So I like the way this guy's done this, where he's given himself that option by having a few French French players in there, and also French Premier League players in there that, you know, gives them that option, as I say. Front three then, we've got Barnes, Watkins, and Madueke. Nice, I like it. Madueke and Barnes, obviously. You could probably upgrade Barnes once you get a bit more coins, I would say. Good starter card, though, 85 pace. And, you know, decent dribbling again there with 81 as well. So, yeah, as I say, not a bad starter card. Upgrades to be made whenever you get the coins, of course. And then Ollie Watkins, 84 pace as a striker to start off the year. Nothing wrong with that. Pretty solid option. And the same with Madueke. Madueke, 90 pace flying. A bit of pace early in the year. The guy's rapid. Yeah, as I say, nice starter card as well. Alright, so what we saying with this team then? This is team 3 of the video, boys. This guy needs to get his bloody battery charged, by the way. 5%? Bloody hell. Anyways, he's got Kep in goal. He's got Nacho DeMarcos, I think that is. I don't know who the left centre-back is, or the left-back, actually. Centre-back and left-back then, boys, I assume... Well, the left-back, Spanish Real Madrid, I mean, I assume he's obviously quite a cheap left-back to start with. And the same with the centre-back, obviously Spanish and in the Serie A at Roma. So, yeah, I imagine 2 decent starter options there as well. You've got McGregor in there alongside Bios, and I'm not sure who the right centre-mid is. But, yet again, I assume this is a bit like you've got a bit of a Celtic vibe going in here. An ex-Celtic vibe as well, with Jota playing on the left wing as well. Overall, pretty solid. I mean, I remember some of these cards, like the likes of Nacho, Ceballos and DeMarcus. I remember them from they've been pretty decent starter cards if you're going to rock like a Spanish vibe team. They've been pretty good starter cards the last couple of FIFAs. So certainly DeMarcus at right back. He's always quite like a pacey right back option. I don't know whether his pace has decreased over recent years or what, but yeah, I imagine he'd be still solid. Nacho's a very good and underrated player at the start as well, so some good choices in this team. Alright, so next up we got Jabari squad, starter squad, question mark, because he's got some really nice cards in here. Anthony, Varane, Benacer, Bremer. For me, when I think of starter squads, boys, I'm almost thinking like the cheapest cards, but they don't have to be. They don't really have to be. A starter squad can consist of a few like good, really top players, because you can have, you know, once you play the game for a week, you can build up that squad, right? So, starting off, I see no problem with a lot of these cards. I mean, Anthony will be obviously a little bit pricey. The same with Varane. I like that squad. You got Chiesa there. I just completely missed him as well. Chiesa on left mid. So, do you know what I'm liking about this video so far? The Footy King Army, our community here on YouTube. A lot of you boys are, you know, this video is going to be very diverse in terms of the teams we're reviewing, because there hasn't been one squad at the minute that has kind of been the same theme, right? Nobody's just going out there rocking a full Prem team that we've seen just yet. Everyone's trying to be interesting and diverse, and I'm liking that, because we've got mixed up Spanish teams here. We've had a few Italian players in there. In certain teams, we've had Premier League with a bit of French nation in there as well. So I'm liking the team so far. This one is very solid as well. Calabria is always a good starter card, that Italian right back. Reguilon there at left back you've got. And then up front, as I say, we can talk about that as well. We've got De La Fey and Abraham. I think that's brilliant. I really do. Abraham can be more of it's having that balance in the strikers. We don't yet know, boys, what way the game's going to work with the AFC. What's going to be the meta in terms of gameplay. You know, maybe crosses could be OP again like they were years ago. You know, is height going to be a bit more of a factor? If that's the case, Abraham will be brilliant for you. But just looking on the way we think the game might fail, I mean, that's a great balance. You've got De La Fey for pace, and you've got Abraham for that hold-up play, and obviously that finishing ability. So, and obviously he's so tall as well, so he's got that aerial ability as well. So overall, I'm really liking that squad as well, man. Looking solid. Right, we've got Bagula here, who says, for the first foot champs. Right, let's have a look, bro. So you've got... okay, so we're seeing the first squad with a few women players in it as well. Obviously, we've got that cross between men and women both being available for your ultimate teams this year. So, Pickford in goal. Then you've got Wan-Bissaka, Greenwood, Letizia, and Shaw. We've got Paul Pogba, Locatelli, and Caruso. So, a bit of an Italian vibe going through here. So, English backline. And all like Premier League. Like, we've got Premier League English on the full-backs. And then, obviously, we've got the centre-backs being... like WSL and English nationality as well. Midfield, we're moving into like as I say, an Italian league. Caruso, Locatelli, and Pogba. Good balance. I don't know what type of player Caruso is. I assume she may be more of a box-to-box. And we obviously know Locatelli's a more defensive player, and Pogba is like another more of a attacking midfield type player. So good balance in the midfield. I like it. Yet again, giving yourself that option with a French nation. I always think it's good to have a couple of French cards in your starting in your star teams, because it gives you that option if you want to move to the inevitable. Get some of those French players in after you build a bit of coins up. You know, getting a few French players in, it gives you that option to do that, man, for chemistry reasons. Front three, then we've got another person using Chiesa, looking good. I think he's got one of these Nike cards, right? The Nike promo, boys. It's going to be the first promo off EAFC. Chiesa is going to have one of those cards. So maybe any of you boys rocking Chiesa in your starter squads, maybe could bring in that night card into your team as well. We've got Russo and Paris. Yet again, nothing wrong with that. Paris giving that pace out on the right side, which is brilliant for star teams. And then Russo up front. Looks a pretty solid striker. Good starter striker. No crazy stat that jumps out at me. Just a solid all-round striker. You know, with the 82 pace, 82 shooting, and 84 dribbling, man. So just, you know, nothing crazy, but a solid starter striker for sure. That will round up today's video, boys. I hope you've all enjoyed it. And of course, boys, drop a comment down below, man. Let me know what is one card you're really looking forward to trying in your starter team for EAFC. Make sure you hit that like button for us. Loads of EAFC content to come. Smash that subscribe button if you're new on the channel. And I'll see you boys in the next one. Peace out.